Hello, guys. This is Ravenclaw. What if? Welcome back to another What If story. Now, this is what if Jack Rosefield was in Ruby. It's my own custom OC, so it's no one familiar. He's gonna be a dragonkin, not dragonkin, but he's gonna be a dragon faunus. His mother is going to be a dragon faunus herself, and her sorry, and Jack's father is going to be human because I did some research on the faunus. If one creates a child with a human, it faunus plus human equals faunus. So yeah, regardless, it's going to be faunus. So the traits he's gonna have like some skills that are hidden underneath his shirt and his arms. He has more sharp teeth. His ears are in a more of a pointer, more of a pointer, point to it. Almost not as long as an elf would have ears, but there's a point to it. Okay, let me explain his semblance. He's able to create scythe from blood, from his own and others. So if there's any blood around, he could create a scythe out of it, and it's pretty strong. If it breaks, he just repairs it instantly in the middle of a fight. He will look like this when he goes into his let's don't have to call it like dragon trigger or dragon drive, whatever you like. I'll figure it out. I'll put on the community tab a poll for the. It's basically like rage mode, but he's full control of what he's doing. He just has miss a bunch of power all at once. That makes his attacks a whole lot more devastating. He's gonna have physical strength because he's a dragon faunus. Because I tried to look up if there's any dragon faunus in Ruby. I couldn't find anything, so I have a lot more leeway when it comes to dragon faunus because there's no actual lore on them. So that I've seen. So I'm gonna have some fun with this. This is what Jack's mother's gonna look like, minus no wings, because I don't want to have them have wings. I would have to explain why there's a wing faunus in here. So I'm not gonna get into that, but she'll look exactly like that, but without the wings. Think I'm gonna name her. I really don't know. I'm just gonna name her something simple that I know a name. Yeah, I'm gonna reuse several names I have reused before. So I'm just gonna call her Vex. This is Jack's father. A rosefield. They're uh, they're a well-known clan of blood semblance family. They all don't have like the same semblance. It's just their semblance evolves like blood. As all their semblance of the family revolves around blood. It differs between each family member. I don't know if semblance works like that, but that's how that family works. Figure out the dad's name. I'm just call him Rin. So he'll be Rin Rosefield, and when the time comes when the whole thing happens, it'll be Rin Rosefield and Vex Rosefield. So let's let's. Oh, and I don't know if I said this. I probably have. I just don't remember. Don't know when the White Fang was established in canon. So, but for this story, They've been around for a little bit. Now I need them to be around for to make this plot work for the story. So excuse me from not I don't know like when they were established. I tried to research it, but I couldn't find anything. So here we go. Now I'm gonna give you a backstory on each of the families, real fast. Now the Rosefield, it's a very rich family, very well off. They're more friendlier towards Fawn's people in general. Unlike though I forget what their last name, but Winter and Wise last name. I'm not about to pronounce that, but yeah, they're the total opposite of those people. The Rosefields knows a few bad apples doesn't ruin the whole bunch. So a few bad fawns comes out of them, but the Rosefield's not going to condemn the whole species after a few bad apples. Now the Rosefield didn't have anything to do with all the hunter association until Attil's Ren time. He was the first Rosefield to go to a hunter academy, Beacon of all places. No, let's say he went to Atlas. Yeah, it'll be Beacon because I don't know like when Atlas was established if it's been around for a while, but let's just say he goes to the same academy that his son's going to go to eventually with the whole Ruby team and all that fun stuff. Now Vex's clan, ever since the sorry, ever since they noticed that the conflict with the humans and they've always been isolationists. They never really have any contact with other fawns. But ever since the conflict with the humans has increased, they they go really deep into the homeland to not to have any contact with any species whatsoever. By doing that, the dragon fawn population dropped, where only one was left was Vex and her mother, but Vex's mother died during her teens, and she never left the compound where she lives at because her mother told you can't trust anyone outside of our clan. But Vex doesn't know what to do at this point because her whole clan's dead, and she doesn't know what to do. To stay here, spend her rest of her life, just in his compound of a building, or go venture off and possibly get killed. But she's no slouch. She's pretty strong. And for plot sake, because no, so she. This is not a Hero Academia what if. This is strictly Ruby what if. I just gotta get used to saying Ruby what if because I'm so used to saying Hero Academia. So yeah, because my channel is mostly focused on Hero Academia. But okay, when Ren went to the academy, him and Raven, Qrow, and Ruby's mother. I don't know her name right now. I had it in my head a second ago, and it just gone already. So I'm pretty stoned right now. So let's continue. When Ren was on one of his missions where his team got wiped out, he was the only survivor as he collapsed deep in the forest where by out of luck Vex was just checking out little bit of the surroundings of the area as she came across Rin, as she took him back to her place because she wasn't going to let him bleed out like that. And this is the first time she's seen a human, so she was quite curious. So she patched him up, then she nursed him back to health. He stayed for a little bit, then he finally left to report. But he would always come back. He would make a scheduled trip, would always come back to see her because he's never seen a dragon fauns before. So he's intrigued too. So that's how their relationship started. Slowly they got closer, and Jack was born. The Rosefield family does know of Jack's birth. The family knows. It says outside the family doesn't know about Jack's mother existence. Like, yeah, they don't know. They don't spread the whole. One of their family members is married to a dragon font. Not because they would be embarrassed, but don't know what type of outward that would erupt. Because it's a font that they font a faunus that they haven't seen before. And Ren knows well. There's probably a few countries out there want to get hands on a new fonts and dissect it, see what's the differ between the other fonts, the faunus. So yeah, he's gonna keep his mouth shut on that. As you see a young boy jumping on the branches of trees, as all you see a young boy with a cloak with red eyes, tracking a Grim. As you see the Grim running as it's injured, the boy jump off the trees as he gets into more of a running stance. As he actually puncture his hand, run his wrist, creating the blade, creating the scythe. As he's running inside the creature, as Ezekiel stops, as while he stopped, the head of the creature pops off. As the Grim was decapitated. He's done for. As Ezekiel stabs the head, just to be sure. As he takes his scythe out. He's around, let's say he's around 10 years old. As the man starts clapping, as Jack looks behind him, as like, Father. As he's like, well done, my boy. You've done well. We can probably head back before your mother burns me to death. As Jack's like, oh, we don't breathe fire. I wouldn't put it past your mother. As they head back to the house, they made a compound at well they made a house at where Vex's hometown is, or where she's been staying at. They just build more to it. Now Jack Semblance, sorry, I don't know what age they are like supposed to get their semblance or they activate or whatever. But I'm just saying for story's sake, Jack was able to use his semblance much earlier in life than normal. So that's how I'm gonna fix that. As they finally get back to the house, as they see a man leaning against the entryway, drinking a flax, as Qrow gestures, he's like, yo. As Ren goes over to Qrow, shake his hand friendly as he smiles as they greet each other. As this is the first time Jack's seen his dad so friendly. As he looks at his father weird. And I was like, oh, Qrow, it's been a while, my friend. Oh, yeah, I guess you haven't met him yet. Son, this is my best friend Qrow. Jack, say hello. As Jack says hello, as I can see he got your, very red eyes. Did he get your nifty trick? As he's like, yeah, he got it. You'd be surprised. Jack, do it. As Jack steps back, as he, creates a scythe out of his own blood, as not Raven, Qrow smiles. As he's like, oh, interesting. Qrow gets a devilish idea. As he's like, my friend, my buddy, would it be so possible if I would borrow your son for a little bit now and then? As rent for what? I kind of need to get my niece off my hands for a while. She can be quite a handful. And considering how they're both scythe users, I think they would get along. I have no problem with it, Qrow. I don't have a problem with it, but you gonna ask my wife's permission. As Qrow gulps, that lady. I mean, me and her don't like see eye to eye half the time. Nonsense, my friend. She'll be happy to see you. As Qrow's like, yeah, I'm pretty sure about that. As he chugs some more of his flask, he's like, I'm not. Wait, as he's like, I'm not. I'm not drunk enough for this. So Rin and Jack get inside. As Rin's like, we're home. As Vex like, so how did the test your little test go with our son? Oh, he passed like naturally. As I expect nothing less from my boy. And I also brought a visitor. As she's like, who? As Qrow, as she frowns. As she puts on a happy face. Hello, Qrow. It's been a while. How you been? As she shakes his hand, as she pulls him close. What do you want? When you're around, things don't end well. As he nervously has his hand behind his head. As he's like, yeah, it's kind of my Semblance fault. Can't blame me. As she's like, whatever. It's nice to see you, Qrow. So what brings the lovely visit? But I can't visit my best friend without no ulterior motives. I totally messed that up, guys. So ulterior. Oh yeah. I'm not gonna pretend to pronounce that right now because my mouth can't work right. As Vex gets serious, like, are you serious? Look, fine. I heard you had a kid, and I was hoping I could borrow him to keep my niece out of my hair. And when I found out he's a scythe user of all things, this is perfect. So I asked your husband, but he told me to come ask you. And I know what you're gonna say, Vex. There will be a there will be a sorry, a parent there at all times. Qrow Qrow informs me that his niece's father is always at the house. So there will be all, adult supervision of all times. So I think our son will be pretty safe there. As long as he keeps his skills hidden, I think he'll be fine. Oh, I totally agree. As Rin's like, what? Yeah, he needs to socialize with other people around his age. If he stays here for any longer, just isolated, he'll end up turning into, well, our dear son's personality needs to be softened up a little bit. He's getting too battle hardy for my taste. Most kids his age is playing and socializing and going to school. or whatever. I don't know what they do for education outside of the beacon, but I figured they would have some sort of school system or whatever. But whatever, we're not gonna get into that. Instead, we taught our son hand-to-hand combat, how to kill Grims, battle strategies, and plus he's getting a little too good at his little scythe blood thing. A little too fast. Some time passed. Well, some time passed with Qrow and Rin drinking their ass off for several nights. As finally, he has to leave. As Izuku gets all ready, he has to go with go meet the sisters, Ruby and Yang. As Qrow looks down, as he's like, ready, kid? As he's like, yeah, I'm ready. As like, you don't want to go, do you? Nope, I do not. But my mother said I must, what you call, develop social skills. As he looks at Qrow blankly, as he's like, I love your personality, kid. As he's like, what are those? Oh, these are my throwing knives, Mr. Qrow. This Qrow. Just call me Qrow. Fine, they're my throwing knives. And like, why would a kid your age have throwing knives? Father always said, always be ready for combat. Ah, of course he did. Come on, let's go. Qrow and Jack continue traveling as they have to stop for the night. As they're walking towards a pub, as Jack's seriously a bar. Kid, is they have a lodge inside. It just happens they serve drinks. Just by coincidence, of course. It's like, come on, small fry. As he's like, I very much like to kill you. As he's like, I bet you would. But my mother informed me that I can't kill you. As much as she would like to see it. I bet she would. Let's get inside. Qrow goes to the bartender, orders a room, and orders some service. Some food service, just that type of thing. As they order, as he told him the only table that opened, it's upstairs. So as he's like, come on, kid. It's like, as he's like, what for? I need to feed you. I'm not gonna, not feed you. That would be quite unrude of me. Your mother found out she would kill me. So yeah, I'm gonna be on that woman's good side. Let's go. As they get upstairs, as Qrow and sees a woman with black hair, red eyes, as he's like, shit. As Jack looks at Qrow, he's like, with like, I'm confused look. As you hear a lady, whoa, whoa, whoa. It isn't Qrow. What do you want? As she's drinking heavily. Honestly, Raven, this is just a chance encounter on my part. As Raven rolls her eyes, sure it is. Why are you really here? As Qrow sits down, as he pulls the chair up for the little Jack. I just happen to need to stop here tonight. Your appearance here is only by chance. As she looks at the young kid, as she's like, "Who's the kid? Don't tell me you actually got married." As Crow's like, "No, no, 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 God, no." As Qrow gets a devilish idea, like, what would you do if I told you he was your lost son? As she's like, as she looks at him real close, lifts his chin up. He does have my eyes, but no, I don't have a secret kid. At least I would know about it. As As Qrow starts laughing, he's like, no, take a closer look. You'll be able to figure it out. As Raven still has not easy, still used to that, but Jack's chin. As Jack looks over to gesture to Qrow, can I kill her? As he's like, unfortunately, kid, you can't. Very well. As she lets go, as she stares at him, you kid, you got a mouth on you. As it clicks, as she looks at Qrow, no shit. As Crow's like, yeah, why do you have. I knew he had a kid, but why do you have him? What are you plotting, Qrow? I'm not plotting anything devious, Raven. I simply need the assistance of this young man to be Ruby's new sparring partner. And she's like, of course you are, pawning your responsibilities on someone else. It's Qrow, seriously? You're giving me lectures on that? Whatever, Qrow. He takes a sig of a drink as she's like, he sits down, and she's like, so, how's the rude bastard doing? I haven't heard from him recently. As he's like, oh, he's been doing fine. Apparently, he's been training the Jack over here nonstop, apparently. That's what I kept hearing from Vex constantly while I was trying to get drunk. As Jack looks up. Fine. Drinking my happy juice. Jack likes it, prefers to call that because he doesn't like drunk people at all. He doesn't even want to hear the word. Yeah, he got that from his mother. That little hatred over for drunk people. Does beer like alcohol in general? Yeah, they're like, no, I'm good on that. So as she continues to talk, and she's like, so, Jack, was it? So what did you get a semblance like your father? As Jack's like, yeah, I got. As Crow's like, he actually has like his father, but he could create, instead of a blade, he could create a scythe. As he's like, oh, of course, another scythe user. Oh, lovely. As lovely as this has been, sis, I have to go. Come on, kid. As they go up to the room of Raven, as she's thinking inside her head, as she's like, definitely need to pay Vex more visits. Need to get in touch with her again. Vex and Raven, they got along, so they got. She got along with Ren, but Ren liked to piss her off all the time, so they always clash. But they were always friends. They still stay friends. So when she got introduced to Vex, they hit off straight off the bat. If they get to the Ruby residence after some time, after they slept for the hotel, then traveled a little bit. As they get to the front door, as Raven's like, a fair warning, kid, Ruby can be quite annoying and hyperactive. As he knocked on the door, I don't know what Ruby's dad's name is. I know he's blonde, and that's pretty much about it. So as he's like, "Oh, Qrow, come in," as Ruby and Yang run over, as Ruby's like, "Uncle Qrow," as she like jumps up, as Qrow catches her. As she's like, "What are you doing?" All right, that's quite enough, young. young niece or whatever he likes to say. I don't know what he was saying that. Like short stack as he sets her down. It's Ruby and Yang's father as like, so who's the kid? As Qrow gets a smile. You know, Ran Rosefield? Yeah, how's he doing? It's fine. But that still doesn't answer my question. Well, this is his kid. As they're like, seriously? But Qrow, why do you have him? Is Ren with you? As Qrow's like, no, I've this has to this has to evolve with Ruby's training. And it's like, all right, oh, I have no problem with it. Anyone from the Rosefield family is always welcome here, especially if it's Ren's kid. As Qrow talks to Ruby, as what you're going to be gone for a little bit. As but what about my training? As she's just concerned about that. As Qrow's like, I might be gone, but I left you as a training partner. As she's like, really? As she's looking, where is it? It's Jack. Why don't you introduce yourself? Izuku gives a plain stare as he's like, Jack Rosefield. My likes and dislikes are I like killing Graham. My dislike alcoholics. As he looks over at Qrow. As Qrow's like, that hurts, kid. As he's chugging his flask. Choice of weapon, scythe. As Ruby Scythe? Really, a scythe? Is that your weapon? Like, is that your gear weapon? Or I don't know what they're called. No, it's my semblance. He's like, really? As they're like she's like up in his face, like, yeah, he doesn't know how to react to that. He's like, yeah. As he looks at the Qrow, like, what do I do in this situation? Do I kill her? Do I run? As Qrow's laughing his ass off. As Ruby's father is he alright? Is he a little strange? No, yeah, he's a little strange one. His parents kept him isolated, so he's gonna be a bit different. Don't worry, the kid's not all that bad. It's too bad I can't stay and see how this occurs, but I gotta get going. I won't be gone long. As Qrow leaves, as we're going to stop it there. That's all I got at the top of my head right now. So I hope you guys like this part. Tomorrow will be, Dragonkin Deku. And we'll continue that till I get the USJ part. Then I'll do Ice Manipulation Deku afterwards. And I'll most likely do this. I'm going to do this on one of my days off and one other what if on my female list of what ifs I have. Is this one and my Sith Inquisitor female Deku what if on one of my days off. So those two will be on either Monday, Tuesday, or Wednesday. I'm not totally sure on that yet. So I'll catch you guys later. All right, bye.